Hello everyone, welcome to the Mercury Virtual. Hope you are doing good. Today I'm going to continue with your chapter number 4 or your procedural programming module. Today I'm going to start with your chapter number 4, that is case structure or case control structure. In the last class we have discussed about the looping, what are the types of looping, what are the statement available, that is a break, continue. These are the multiple statements, these are the multiple looping that is available. Today I am going to continue with your chapter number 4, but prior to this, as usual, let's take a quick review what we have covered in the last class. In the last class we have started with the looping concept. What is a looping? We have talked about the while loop, for loop, break statement, continuous statement and the do while loop. So first of all, what is a looping? Any work that is done in iteration, that is done again and again, that is known as the looping. This says the versatility of the computer lies in its ability to perform a set of instructions repeatedly. This involves repeating some portion of the program either at a specified number of times or until at a particular condition is being satisfied. That is, it depends on the criteria, condition. What is the condition? That depends on the condition, the same instruction will be followed again and again. This repetitive operation is done through a loop control instruction, that is known as the loop control instruction. There are three ways by which we can repeat a part of the program. What are the three ways? Using either a for loop, using a while loop and using a do while loop. So we can use or a looping can be done using three methods, either with the for loop, either with the while loop or either with the do while statement. Each of these method will be discussed in the last class. First of all, what is a while loop? So whenever we perform any condition, we check any condition, we can check the condition with the help of the while loop. The while loop is ideally suited for such cases. Let us take a simple example. This is the example. This is suited for this case. Whenever we have to check the first condition, what is the condition? Is count is less than equals to 3. That is, if the count is less than equals to 3, then only the operation will be performed, otherwise the operation is not performed. That is a calculation of the simple interest for the three sets, that is P, N and R. And this is the example that shows how to calculate the simple interest that we have discussed. This is the flowchart that shows how to test or how to use the while loop. These are the various tips and the traps, that is rules and regulation that is followed while using the while loop. So first of all, there is a initialize loop counter, then there is a while condition, test loop, counter using a condition, then do statement, end statement and the increment loop counter. So these are the multiple statements that is available while using the while loop. These are the points that we follow. The statement within the while loop would keep on getting executed till the condition being tested remains true. The condition is false, the control passes to the first statement that follows the body of the while loop. That is, it checks the condition first and then it follows the instructions, and whether if the condition is true, it follows the instruction, otherwise it will terminate the loop. These are the various tips and traps that we have discussed in the last class. These are the operator that is used in the loop. That is, what are the operator that is used? We can use arithmetic operator, we can use logical operator, any type of operator we can use in the while loop. Then we have talked about the for loop. What is the main difference between while loop and the for loop? In while loop, the condition is checked at the first and then there is a instructions and then there is a initialization, there is a increment at the end of the while loop. In the same way, for loop do the same thing, but all the instruction, that is initialization, that is condition, that is increment or decrement is available in the same line. That is at the in the same line it is available initialization, in the same line condition is also available, in the same line increment or decrement is also available. That is a for loop. So this will use, or they will are too busy using the for loop, which is probably the most particular looping instruction. The for loop allows you to specify three things about a loop in a single line. What are the three things? Setting a loop counter. What is the loop counter? That is the initialization part. For example, I equals to 0, j equals to 0. That is a loop counter. Then test the loop counter to determine whether its value has reached the number of repetition desired. Test the loop counter means checking the condition, that is testing the loop counter. Then incrementing the loop counter, that is I plus plus or I minus minus, that is decrementing the loop count. So three parts are available. One is initialization, then condition, then increment or decrement. The general form is this one. First of all, there is a initialize counter, then test counter, then increment counter. This is a flow chart that shows how flow will be maintained or how for loop will be used. These are the various rules and regulation, or these are the various concepts that is available or that we follow whenever we execute the code using the for loop. This is the flow chart that shows how to use the for loop. Then we study what is the how we can do the nesting of loop. That is how one loop will be used within the another loop. That is how one while will be used within another while, or one for loop will be used within the another for loop. The main concern is that until and unless the inner loop will never terminate, the cursor or the execution part does not move to the outer part. That is, first of all inner part will execute, then and only then the outer part will execute. That means first of all inner loop will terminate, then only the cursor moves to the outer loop. This is the outer loop and this is the inner loop. These are the instructions. This is the printf statement. Then we have discussed about the multiple initialization of the for loop. That is, we can initialize or we can use multiple initialization. That is, I equals to 1, j equals to 2. Then we have studied about the OR loop. What is the OR loop and how we can perform the OR loop. Then we have discussed multiple example with the use of the while loop, with the use of the for loop. That is that gives a comparison between the for loop and the while loop. Then we have discussed about the break statement. That is, what is a break statement and how we can use the break statement. Generally, when break is encountered, the control automatically passes to the first statement after the loop. That is, for example, if I close the curly braces, then control and if I use the break, then control automatically pass to the first statement after the loop. A break is usually associated with an if. That is, it is usually placed with an if statement. That is, a break statement is generally placed with the if one. This is the program that is used to determine whether a number is prime or not. This is the example. What is a prime number? That is divisible by itself or that is divisible by 1. That is a prime number. This says a prime number is 1 that is divisible by all the numbers from 2 to 1 less than the itself. That is a prime number. Then we have discussed about the continue statement. That continue is used, or when continue statement is used in the loop, then control automatically passes to the beginning of the loop. In the break, it passes to the next statement of the loop, and in the continue, it beginning to the beginning, or it passes to the beginning of the loop. That is the main difference between the break and the continue. Then we have discussed about the do while loop. What is a do while loop and what is the difference between while and the do while loop? The main difference is that, the main concept is that in do while loop, the condition is checked at the end. That is, the while is placed at the end. This is the while, it is placed as the end. So in do while, first of all the statements are written and then only the condition is checked. But in while, first of all condition is checked and then statement will execute. So if I say do while is a exit control loop. Why it is exit control loop? Because condition is checked at the exit point. In the same way, while is a entry control loop. Why? Because the condition is checked at the entry of the loop. That is a while loop. The main difference is that where the condition is being tested. The while tests the condition before executing any of the statement. As against this, the do while tests the condition after having executed the statement within the loop. That means do while loop at least execute once at a time. That is, one at a time it will execute. But while loop cannot execute until the condition is true. That is the main difference. This is the flow chart. Then we have discussed about the examples, we have discussed about the summary, that what we have discussed in the whole chapter, that is a looping chapter. This is the exercise that is based on every looping. What I said, that please practice on this, and if you have any doubt, then please ask from me. But if you don't practice, there is no issue, there is no benefit to learn the C language, because this is a programming language, so you keep on trying, or you keep on practicing the questions. So please practicing the questions again and again from the example that is given. These are the multiple examples that is given for the for loop, for the continue loop, for the break statement, for the while, do while, for, break, continue. Now let's start with the fourth chapter, that is case control structure. Now let's start with chapter number 4, that is today's topic, that is case control structure. In this we will study about the switch statement, if else ladder, that is how if else will be maintained, and then go to keyword. In the same way, whenever we use the break, continue, in the same way the go to statement will be used for jumping to a specified location, that is a go to keyword. So in this we will study about the switch case, about the if else, switch, if else ladder, that is the combination of the if else and the go to statement, then summary and the exercise. So let's begin. This says, in real life we are often faced with situations where we want to required, or we are required to make a choice between number of alternatives rather than only one or two. Means we are giving a multiple choice, we are giving a multiple alternative, multiple options, and we have to choose only one or two out of them. That is, we do not have to choose one or two, or we do not have the option to choose multiple at the same time, but we have to choose only one or two. For example, which school to join, or which hotel to visit, or still harder, which girl to marry. You almost always end up making a wrong decision is a difficult matter altogether. Serious C programming is the same. The choice we are asked to make is complicated than merely selecting between two alternatives. Now this says whenever we have to choose between multiple alternatives and we have to choose only one, that is a condition that is also available in the C language. So C provides a special control statement that allows to handle such cases efficiently rather than using a series of if statements. This control instruction is in fact the topic of this chapter. Towards the end of the chapter, we will study a keyword known as the goto and understand why we should avoid its usage in the C programming. That is, why we are not able to, or we are not carry that goto is a very efficient for the C programming. No, but we use them until and unless there is no requirement, there is no hard and fast requirement. So in this chapter we study about the switch, if else, and the go to statement. Now let's start with the switch, that is decision using the switch. That is how decision will be taken using the switch statement. This is the control statement that allows us to make a decision from the number of choices is known as switch. That is, the control statement, or this statement allows us to make a decision from the number of alternatives. That is, number of choices are given and we have to make the decision from the number of choices, that is known as the switch, or more correctly a switch case default. That is a main concern, that is a switch case default. So whenever we have a large number of alternatives, large number of choices, and we have to take decision among or from the large number of choices, then we use the switch case statement or switch case default. Since these three keywords go together to make the control statement, they often appear as follows. This is the syntax of the switch case. That is, first of all, switch and then integer expression. That is a condition or the integer expression that is required after the switch. Then curly braces open, then case constant 1, that is the first case, that is a constant 1. Then do this means perform the operation. Then there is a this is a colon and this is a semicolon. There is a difference between colon and the semicolon. Then next case constant 2, that is the next case, that is a case constant 2. Then there is a column and then there is a do this, that is perform the operation, that is a statement part. Then there is a case constant 3, that is a case 3, then do this, that is a statement part. And then at last there is a default and do this, this is the last part. So starting with the switch, there is the integer expression, then use the case 1 statement, case 2 statement, case 3 statement, then default and then statement, that is do this, and then curly braces close. So this is the syntax of the switch case. That is, first of all, case 1, then statement, case 2 statement, case 3 statement, and then default statement, and then curly braces close. The integer expression following the keyword switch is any C expression that yields an integer value. That is, it may be any integer expression that gives only integer value. It could be an integer constant like 1, 2 or 3, or an expression that evaluates to an integer. The keyword case is followed by an integer or a character constant. That is, this is followed by an integer or a character constant. Each constant in each case must be different from all the others. The do this lines in the above part of the represent any valid C statement. As I told you, first of all case 1, then statement, that is a do this, then case 2 statement, that is a next case, that is a next statement. What happens when we run a program containing a switch? That is, what is the scenario, or what is the output, or what is the dry run part? That is, whenever we use the switch statement. Firstly, the integer expression following the keyword switch is evaluated. That is, first of all, the integer expression that is used following the keyword switch is evaluated. That is, first of all, this one will be evaluated. That is the integer expression. The value it gives is then matched. That is, the value it is given is then matched one by one against the constant value that follows the case statement. That is, first of all, it manages or it compares with the case expression, that is the case constant 1, case constant 2, and the case constant 3. That is, it compares with the integer expression that is given inside the switch statement, one by one against the constant value that follows the case statement. When a match is found, that is, when a match is found, that is, it finds a match. Wow, it's find match from the switch case to the case structure. The program executes the statement following that case and all subsequent cases and the default as well. That is, it continue with this one, or it whenever it finds a match, then it will execute the statement as well as all the statement that follows and the default statement as well. If no match is found with any of the case, that is, the no match is found with any of the case that is used, only the statement following the default are executed. Then only the default statement will be executed. Now let's see the example so that concepts are clear in your mind. This is the example. First of all, the main, that is the main part is begins, then curly braces open, then int I equals to 1. That is, initialize the I with the 2. That is, I contains the 2. That is the value 2. Then uses switch I. That is, here the concept is 2. Why? Because I has a value 2. So here switch I means switch 2. Now case 1. What is the case? Printf, I am in case 1. Case 2, I am in case 2. I am in case 3, and then default, I am in default. Now then switch case will be closed. This is the switch case open and this is the switch case closed, and then at last the main will be closed. So first of all, main will be opened, initialize the variable, uses the integer expression in the switch, uses different cases, uses the default, curly braces close of switch, and then curly braces close of int. int main. The output is I am in case 2. Why the output is I am in case 2? Because it is int I equals to 2, means 2, so it matches with the 2. This is the 2, so it printf or it prints the value that is I am in case 2. Then it also prints I am in case 3, I am in default. Why? Because it follows the case 2. So any expression that follows the case, that is a matching case, all the statements will be executing following that case also. This is the result. The output is definitely not what we expected. What we expect that there is a single output, there is a single comparison, so that only one output will be available. We do not expect the second and the third line in the output. Yeah, I agree, because you see this is the 2, so I want only this one. Why these 2 lines, extra lines are coming? The main reason is that we are not using the break statement. If we use the break, then it will not come. The same line will be written over here. We did not expect the second and the third line in the above output. The program inputs case 2 and 3 and the default case. That is the program that is used, or the output that is used, that follows the case 2, 3 as well as the default case. Well, yes, we said that the switch executes the case when a match is found, and all the subsequent cases and the default as well. That is, it founds or it uses all the subsequent cases. That is subsequent cases means the cases which match the found as well as all the subsequent, all the succeeders cases and the case as well. If we want that only case 2 should get executed, that is only one case is executed, it is up to you get out of the switch then, and then thereby using a break statement. That is, if you want the exact combination, if you want the exact figure, if you want the exact round of figure, then uses the break statement after the case statement. That is, use the case 3, give the statement, and then uses the break keyword. The following example shows how this is done. Note that there is no need for break after the default. That is, after the default there is no need for the break statement, since the control comes out of the switch anyway. This is example. The same, first of all main function will be used, then int I equals to 2. That is, I equals to 2 means initialize the I with the 2, that is I contains the 2 value, then switch I, that is switch to case 1. What is the case 1? Printf I am in case 1. Again there is a break. Next printf I am in case 2. Again there is a break. Then printf I am in case 3. This is a slash line that is used for the next line. Then again break, but there is no break in the default statement. That is, all the cases contains the break keyword, but default does not contain the break keyword because there is no requirement. Break means stop. Stop means go to the next statement, but after default there is no statement available, so there is no need or there is no usage of writing the break in the default view. So this is the case. Now let's try run. Here I equals to 2, so this is switch 2. Whenever it is switch 2, then directly go to the case 2. In case 2 there is a printf, that is I am in case 2, then there is a break. So only one output will arrive, that is I am in case 2. Why only one output? Because break is used in the cases. Whenever a break is encountered, is automatically passed to the next statement. And if we are not using the break, then there is no movement or there is no jumping to the next statement. Then all the subsequent jumps, all the subsequent statements are executed. So the output is single output, that is I am case 2. And now what is the this operation can also be shown with the help of the flowchart. This is the example, or this shows how this example will be represented in with the help of the flowchart. This is the flowchart. First of all, there is a start. Start means at the starting phase, this is the starting point. Then there is a case 1. Yeah, case 1, statement 1. Case 2, statement 2. Case 3, statement 3. Case 4, statement 4. If there is a no, that is the expression is not followed or not matches with the case, then go to the next case, next case, next case, next. If the yes, the case matches with the switch integer expression, then uses the statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4. And then at last there is a stop. That is a stop means stopping the flowchart. That is stop the situations. This is the switch choice. This is the integer, that is using the choice. There is a case 1, statement 1, break. Case 2, statement 2, break. Case 3, statement 3, break. Case 4, statement 4. That is at the ending of the case, that is at the last case, that is either default case or case 3, there is no usage of the break statement. There is no usage of the break keyword. Now, what are the tips and traps for the switch? What are the rules and regulations? A few useful tips about the usage of the switch and a few pitfalls to be avoided. There are a few pitfalls, there are a few loopholes that should also be avoided. The earlier program that use switch may give you the wrong impression that you can use only cases arranged in a descending or ascending order, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and default. That is the earlier program that uses give the wrong expression that this always gives the statement in the sequence order, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 and the default. We can also put, or you can in fact put the cases in any order you want. This is the example. You can put in any order. There is no mandatory that either in ascending or the descending order. No, you can put anywhere in the cases. The main concern is that if it matches the expression, then only the statement will execute, otherwise the statement will not execute. There is a main, there is a int I equals to 22, there is a switch I. So the I contain 22. Now multiple cases. First of all, 121 case, printf I am in case 121, break. Case 7, I am in case 7, break. Case 22, I am in case 22, break. And then default, I am in default, there is no usage of break. There is no need of break. Here the curly braces will open, here the curly brace will open. Here curly brace will be closed for this one, here the curly brace will be closed for this one. The output is, it is 22, so the output is I am in case 22. Why not the default value count? Because this is the subsequent statement. The reason is that we use the break in the case 22. So whenever a break will encounter, then the compiler does not execute all the subsequent statements. Next point says, you can also, or you are also allowed to use the char values in case. That is, we can also use instead of case 1, we can also use case A, case B, case C. That is, we can also use the character constant in the case name and the switch as shown in the following program. This is the example. First of all, main will be started, then char c equals to x, that is the c contains the x value, that is char c equals to x. Then uses the switch statement. What is the or uses the expression? Now this contains the x, this is contains the x. Why? Because c stored or c or x is stored in the c. This is x. Now uses the expression that is a character expression. So it's mandatory to use the character within the single quote. This is the single quote, this is the single quote, this is the single quote. So it's better, or it's mandatory to use the characters in the single quotes. This is a single quote, this is also in single quote, single quote, single quote. This is the case name that is either in integer or either in character. If it is in character, then use the single quotes for this one. Then there is a printf. What is written in double quotes? I am in case V. Then there is a break statement. Then there is a case A. I am in case A, break. Case X, I am in case X, break. Then default, that is I am in default. And there is no requirement of the break after the default statement. This is the example, this is the switch, this is also opening and the closing, and this is also opening and the closing. What is the output? That is arm in case X. Why? Because the C contains the X, so the output is arm in case X. In fact, when we use VAT, they are actually replaced by the ASCII value, that is 118, 97, 120 out of the character constant. So the compiler uses the ASCII value, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange, for such cases or for such characters. At times we may want to execute a common set of statements for multiple cases. That is, we use multiple statements for multiple cases. How this can be done? This is shown in the following example. First of all, uses printf ch, char ch, that is one character is defined, that is name is the ch. Then this is used to enter the used to get the input from the user, that is printf enter the character either A, B or C, and that character will be stored in the memory. Why I am saying character? Because this is %C and this is char, and the char takes only 1 byte. This is only one character, not more than one character, that is either A, either B or either C. Then uses the expression as a ch, that is a switch key ch. Then uses multiple cases at the same time, that is use the small a as well as the capital A. Then there is a printf A as in usher, break, then B, capital B, but it's mandatory then use these characters in the single quotes. Then printf B as in brain, break, then case C, capital C, break, C as in cookie, then again break, then default. What is the default value? That is wish you knew what are the alphabet. Then there is no break because this is the last expression, the cursor does not move to the first part. This statement or this example shows how different character will be used for the cases, how different cases will be used in the switch case statement. Here we are one more thing. Here curly brace will be opened, curly brace will be closed. This is the curly brace closing of the main function. Here we are using use of the fact that once a case is satisfied, the control simply falls through the case till it does not encounter a break statement. That is, whenever it finds a match, it will continue and it will see this, or it can use this by using the break statement. That is why if an alphabet A is entered as the case A, that is satisfied, and since there are no statement to be executed in this case, the control automatically reaches to the next case, that is a case A, and executes all the statement in this case. That is, uses both the case, that is A and the A, and both have the printf, that is A is in Asher, or A as an Asher. Next rule that is used for the switch. Even if there are multiple statements to be executed, in case there is no need to enclose them within a curly braces. That there is no curly braces that is required for the switch cases. There is no curly brace, only multiple cases are used. Every statement in a switch must belong to some case or the other. If a statement does not belong to any case, that is a statement does not belong to any case, that is not in case A, not in case B, not in case C, then it will give an error. Then that is, it's mandatory to give the statement in the case number, that is in the character form, or that is in the number form. However, the statement would never get executed. For example, printf never goes to the work. This is the example. This example shows how case will be, or switch case will be used. So first of all, int ij, then printf, that is how printf will be used for getting the value of I. So it will be entered by the user. It will be entered, that is enter the value of I. That value of I will be stored in the memory by using the D. That is the memory concept, that is the memory part that is stored in the memory, that has a variable name, that is I. Then uses the switch I, that is uses the expression or uses the statement, that is the switch statement, that is switch I. Here it is an integer expression, so it is I. Then after I it is printf hello, that is it prints the output, it prints the word as a hello. Then use the case 1. What is the case 1? When j equals to 10, then there is a break statement. When j equals to 2, then there is a j equals to 20, and then there is a break. This is the example that shows that switch must belong to some case or the other. If we next point says, if we have no default case, that is a default case is not available, then the program simply folds through the entire switch and continue with the next iteration, if any, that follows the closing brace of switch. That is, if we are not using the break, or if we are not using the default statement, then it will not be terminated. It will always continue with the next expression, next condition, next case. In switch, is switch a replacement for if? Yes or no? Yes, it is a replacement because it offers a better way of writing the program. What is if? If means if statement will give the better result as compared to the switch statement. And no, because in certain conditions we are left with no choice but to use if. The disadvantage of a switch is that one cannot have a case in the switch which looks like this one. We cannot give the expressions, we cannot give the variable, we cannot use the boundary, we cannot use the less than greater than sign in the cases of the switch. So this is also a condition. All that we have after the case is an integer constant or a character constant or a expression that evaluates to one of these constants. Even a float is not allowed. That is, float number is also not allowed. Why? Because the mandatory condition is that there is an integer expression after the switch. So there is no float integer that can be written. The advantage is that it leads to a more structured programming. Why more structured programming? Because all the switches are in one by one or level by level. That is, level of indentation is manageable. Much more if there are multiple statements within each state of the switch. That is, if there are multiple statements, so switch case is better. Why? Because there is proper indentation in the switch statement. We can also check the value of any expression in a switch. That is, we can check the value of any expression that is given in the switch. The following switch statements are legal. These are the following, that is legal. The expression can also be used in cases they are constant expression. Therefore, the case that is 3 plus 7 is correct. However, case A plus B is not correct. Next point says the break statement when used in switch takes the control outside the switch. That is, it makes or it controls everything of the switch, or it controls or take the control outside the switch. However, use of continue will not take the control to the beginning, as one is likely to believe. So only the break statement will be used, that is used to make the control or used to move the control outside of the switch. In principle, a switch may occur within an order, but in practice it is rarely done. Such statement would be called nested if. The switch statement is very useful while writing menu-driven program. What is a menu-driven program? For example, if I am developing one project, that is hospital management project, there are multiple options. One is a main menu, one is the room availability, one is the bed availability, one is the doctors available. So there are multiple menu-driven program that you can manage, that is done by the that is very useful writing the menu-driven program. This aspect of switch is discussed at the end of the chapter. That is how to use the project, that is discussed in the last of the chapter. Next topic is switch versus if-else ladder. there are many things. Now next concept is where switch versus the if else ladder. That is, what is the difference between when we are using the if else condition and when we are using the switch expression. This says there are some things that you simply cannot do without a switch. That is, there are multiple parts, there are multiple scenarios that you cannot do, or you cannot imagine that it can be done after the switch, because there are so many alternatives that is available. What are these? A float expression cannot be tested within a using a switch. That is, a float expression, that is a real part, cannot be checked in the switch. That's why it's a mandatory condition switch. Then there is a integer expression. Then cases can never have variable extension. For example, it is wrong to say case a plus 3 colon. Yeah, I'm so sorry for the delay. There is some network problem. There is a LAN that is disconnected over here. Now, where we were discussing this, that is, case never have a variable expression. That is, it cannot have a variable expression like this one. No, either use case 1, case 2, case A, case B, case C. That is, uses either character or uses either integer values. And the first point says a float expression cannot be tested. So these are the multiple differences, these are the multiple things that we cannot do with the use of the switch. That is, first of all, there is no float expression that can be tested with the use of the switch. Then cases can never have a variable expression. That is, a case can have a never expressions. For example, it is wrong to say case a plus 3. This is the expression that is not used with the case. Then multiple cases cannot use the same expression. That is, if I'm using more than one expression in the more than one cases, no, that's not possible. Therefore, this switch case is illegal. This is case 3, case 1 plus 2. So these are the multiple scenarios why we are or what are the scenarios that is not used in the switch statement. This may lead to that these are the obvious disadvantages with the switch, especially then when since there were not any such limitation with if else. That is, this is the main difference. That is, there is no limitation. We can also use the float, we can also use the expression in the if else, but if we use the switch, then there are some limitations, there are some disadvantages. So these are the differences that comes up between the switch and the if case. For speed, switch works faster. That is, the switch has a higher speed as compared to the if else ladder. How come? This is because the compiler generates a jump table for a switch during compilation. That is, it first of all maintains the table for the different cases. That's why it is very fast as compared to the if else ladder. As a result, during execution, it simply refers the jump table to decide which case should be executed rather than actually checking which case is satisfied. So it is simply checking, or it is simply check which case is satisfied instead of which case should be executed. As against this, if else are very slow because they are evaluated at the execution time. This is the main difference. In switch case, the expressions are evaluated at the compilation time, while in if else, in switch case, the expressions are evaluated in the compilation time. That is when compiled, that is when converted into the bits, that is a binary language. As against this, if else ladder, 10 condition will be evaluated at the execution time. So these are the multiple difference between the switch and the if else statement. Now next is the goto keyword. But before this, let's take a break, then continue with the goto, because this is the last chapter, last topic of this chapter. Then continue with the chapter number 5, some basics. So let's take a break. that is a break of 5 to 10 minutes. So come back after 5 to 10 minutes and then starting with the this, that is a go to keyword. So let's take a break. So now come back from the break, starts from the next topic, that is the go word keyword or go to keyword. That is the next topic that I'm going to start. That is the last part of the fourth chapter. This says avoid go to keyword, that is avoid the go to keyword. Why there is avoidance? Because they makes a C programmer's life. That is, the C programmer is the person that writes the C codes that makes the C programmer's life miserable. There is a seldom of legitimate reason for using goto, and its use is one of the reasons that programs become unreliable, unreadable and hard to debug. And yet many programmers find goto seductive. That is, it is not advisable to use the goto statement, goto keyword in the C program by the programmers. In a difficult programming situations, it seems so easy to use a goto to take the control where you want. That is, if you want to make the control to the first line, that you can then you can also make the control to the next line using the goto where you want. However, almost always there is a more elegant way of writing the same program using if, for, switch and while. These constructs are far more logical and easy to understand. That is, we can also use the if, while, switch, for statement instead of the goto for making the control or for moving the control or for taking the control from one place to another place. These constructs are more logical and easy to understand. The big problem with gotos is that when we do use them, we can never be sure that how we go to a certain point in our code. That is, we are not going to certain point in our code. They obscure the flow of control. That is, they obscure the flow of control. That is how control passes from one part to the another part. So as far as possible, skip them. That is, it is advisable to skip the goto statement in the C language. You can always get the job done without them. That is, it is not mandatory to use them because there is no as such requirement for this. Trust me, with good programming skills, goto can always be avoided. That is, for a good programming, for a good C programmer, always avoid the goto statements. This is the first and the last time when we are using the goto in this book. That is, in this book we are using the first time the goto as well as the last time. However, for the sake of completeness of the book, the following program shows how to use the goto. That is, for the completeness or for the understanding, only for this concept, only at this stage we are using the goto, and this cannot be used at the later stage. This is the example. First of all, there is a main statement, that is the main part. There is a variable that is declared, that is a int goal, that is a declare, or that variable is declared, that is a int goal. So these are the variables that should be declared like int goals. Then it enters the amount of or the number of gold that is scored or or scored against the India. That is, enter the number of gold that is scored against the India. Then there is a scanf, there is a percentage t. Yeah, tell me anyone who are listening me, who are my students, anyone tell me through the chat, through the phone, why it is using the percentage t. Now tell me, because I think your lectures are so boring because there is no interaction. So please tell me anyone with the help of the chat, why these are using the percentage t. I'm waiting for your response. Please tell me why it is using the percentage t, not percentage c, not percentage f. Anyone? Yeah, good Nelda. Because they are using the integer value. That's why it is using the percentage D. If it is goal is of float type, then it is using the percentage F. It is of character type, that is a character goals, then it is using the percentage C. Good Nelda, well done. Because the main reason is that why it is using the percentage D, because the goals is of integer type. Yeah, good Joseph. Now check the condition. What is the condition? If goals is less than equals to 5. This is the condition that if the goals is less than equals to 5, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Till 5 it is used. Then go to SOS. This is the go to keyword that is used. Then directly jump to the SOS. So go to statement is used for the direct jumping. That is go to is used for the jumping purpose. That is go to the SOS else. That is if it is more than 5, that is it is 6 and beyond 6, then printf about times soccer players learned C. Again printf and said goodbye adieu to soccer, then exit. This is the statement. Now this is the SOS part. So if the goal is less than or equals to 5, this is the statement. This moves the cursor to the this line. So this moves the cursor from here to the here. Then printf to error is human, that is to error is human. Then curly braces close. Here are the two sample runs, that is the two sample run that is given by the user. This is the same line that is printed. For example, user entered as a 3, it is less than 5, so the output is to error is human. Then in the next scenario, if the user is entering the value as a 7, it is beyond the 5, so the same line will be printed, that is the else part will be printed. A few remarks about the program, that is a few suggestions, few regulations that is used about the programs. What are the remarks that is used? If the condition is satisfied, the goto statement transfer control to the label SOS, causing the printf following SOS to be executed. That is, if it is true, that condition is true, then go to SOS means direct moves to the SOS condition. That causes the printf following the SOS to be executed. Then next point says the label can be on a separate line or on the same line as the statement following as in. So it is either we can use here only or where it is used in the next line. There is no difference. This is the example. Any number of goto can take the control to the same label. That is, we can use the same goto at the main statement, same goto at the inner statement. So we can use any number of gotos that takes the control to the same label. Last point, next point says the exit function. This is the exit function that is used to terminate the program execution. This is a standard library function which terminates the execution of the program. It is necessary to use this function since we do not want the statement, this one. The only programming situation in favor of using goto is when we want to take the control out of the loop that is contained in several other loops. So that is this is the next example for the goto statement. There are multiple inner fors, that is the nested fors. This is 1 4 1 4 1 4. This is the if statement. There is a int main, that is the first statement. Then int I j k, that is 3 variables are used. One is I, next is j, next is k. One for loop is used, that is for I equals to 1, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Then again for j equals to 1, j is less than 3, j plus plus. Again one more for is used, that is k equals to 1, k is less than equals to 3, k plus plus. So these are the for loop that is used. Then there is a if. What is the if condition? There are 3 parts. These are the and that is used. If I equals to 3 and j equals to 3 and k equals to 3. That is if I equals to 3 and j equals to 3 and k equals to 3. That is if both the conditions are true, that is I, j and k has a value 3, then go to out. that is move to the out. So this expression moves the cursor to the this point. This is the out definition. So this moves the cursor to the out point. Else, if the I is not 3, j is not 3, k is not 3, then what is the output? Then print the value of I, j and k. Whatever the value that is printed by the C programming language or the C programming. This is the closing of this for loop, this is the closing of this for loop, this is the closing of this for loop, and this is the closing of this for loop. This is the out syntax, this is out scenario, that is go to out, this moves the cursor to this position. Go through the program carefully and find out how it works. Also write down the same program without using the goto. That is, without using goto, it can also be written. That is, the same program is written. Now, that's all for the chapter. This is a summary. This says when we need to choose one among the number of alternatives, a switch statement is used. Second point says the switch keyword is followed by an integer on an expression that evaluates to an integer. Next point says the case keyword is followed by an integer or a character constant. That is, in case we can use either integer or we can use either character constant. D point says the control falls through all the cases unless the break statement is given. That is, the control falls in the all the cases, that is it will follow all the subsequent cases unless the break will be used. The usage of goto keyword should be avoided because it violates or it obstructs the normal flow of the execution. These are the various exercises. What is the output of this? So let's start with this one. Let's start one or two exercises right now. First of all, there is a main. There is a char suit equals to 3, means suit is a variable char that contains only one byte that has a value 3. So in this char switch suit, that is switch 3, so it will go to the case 3, but there is no case 3, so it prints the value that is a heart. Printf through 1 wears a suit. Now, so this is the output that is given. Heart is represented by the case 3 because that is the default case. These are the multiple examples that is used. This is also example of the switch case. Now, next part is your functions. Next chapter is your function, and this is one of the most important topic. This is most difficult topic, and this is most important topic. What is the function? Now, let's start. This says knowingly or unknowingly, we rely on so many persons for so many things. Understand? We rely on so many persons on so many things. Man is an integer or intelligent species, but still cannot perform all of the life tasks all at the once. That is, it cannot perform all the tasks at once or alone. He has to rely on the other. That is, the man or the person is dependent on the other value. That is, he cannot rely on the he cannot fully rely on the itself. He has to rely on others also. You may call a mechanism to fix up your bike, hire a gardener to mow your lawn, or rely on a store to supply you grocery every month. A computer program, except for the simplest one, finds itself in a similar condition. What is the main condition? That the program cannot do all the things all together. That is, the whole program, when it is a large program that cannot perform the operation at the single go. That is, it cannot perform all the operations at the one go by the C program. It cannot handle all the tasks by itself. That is, the C program cannot handle all the tasks by itself only. Instead, it requests other programs like entities known as function in C to get its task done. This is the best line that is given. Instead means rather than, it means the C programming requests other programs. That is, C programming requests the other programs like entity known as the functions in C to get its task done. That is, C is used to get the task done, that is used in the function, that is the function in C. So if I correct this whole paragraph, the main concern that is written over here is in C programming, the main program is divided into multiple parts so that the program will not terminate, so that the program work is distributed among various parts, and that various parts are known as the functions. In this chapter we will study these functions. We will look at the variety of the features of these functions, starting with the simplest one and then working towards them, those that demonstrate the power of C functions. Now, what is a function? That is the main important part in the C language. In any programming language, function is one of the important part. What is a function? A function is a self-contained block of statement that performs a coherent task of some kind. So it is a self-contained block. Self-contained block of statement means it is a self-contained means it is a set of instruction or set of statement that is available that can perform some operation. That's why it is using, or that's why it is saying a self-contained block. So it is a self-contained block of statement that performs a coherent task, that is, that performs some task of some kind. That is the main task. Every C program can be thought of as a collection of these functions. That is, every C program or one program can consist of multiple functions. That is a collection of these functions. As we noted earlier, using a function is something like hiring a function to do a specific job for you. Like, for example, this is a basic example. In my home, there is a one maid that can do all the dusting, all the cleaningness, right? There is one person who take care of my gardens, right? There is one person who take care of my kitchen, of cooking, water, right? There is one person or there is one maid that is available for wash my clothes. So there are various functions, or there are various persons that is available for doing their task independently. In the same way, in C, the task may be divided into multiple parts, that is divided into multiple concurrent usage. As we noted earlier, using a function is hiring a person to do a specific task. Sometimes the interaction with this person is very simple, sometimes is complex. That is, two persons may communicate with each other in a simplest way or in a complex way. Suppose you have a task that is always performed exactly in the same way. Say a bi-monthly or bi-monthly servicing of your motorbike. That is on the monthly basis, bi-monthly basis, there is a service of your motorbike. When you want it to be done, you go to the service station and say, it's time, do it now. You don't need to give instruction because the mechanic knows its job. That is, you simply go to the service station, you simply says to the person, yes, I'm come again, or I come again, then please service or it is the time, do it now. You don't need to told when the job is to be done. You assume that the bike will be serviced in the usual way. The mechanic does it, and that's that. Let us now look at simple C program that operates in much the same way as the mechanic. That is, the same way we do that, the same task will be performed again and again, so there is no error in the function. So this example is related in the way that if we perform the same task again and again, then there is a less chances of the error in the C programming language, right? We will looking at the two things in the function: a function that calls or activates the another function, or the function that calls itself. These are the two scenarios that we'll be using in this chapter. That is, function calls to the next function, or it approaches to the next function, or it approaches directly to itself. That is a recursive function. Now this is the example. There is a main function, there is a message. This is the next function, or this is the function that is used in the main. Then there is a printf, that is cry and you stop the monotony. That is cry. This will be printed, that is cry and you stop the monotony. Then curly braces close. When curly braces are closed, the message will be, or the message box will be printed, or the message definition will be used. That is the function definition. What is the definition? Printf, smile and the world smile with you. That is, when you smile, the whole world will smile with you. That is the message. This is the message that the smile and the world smiles with you. This is the message. And here is the output. What is the output? This is the message, or this is the message function that is used. This is the message function that is used. So it simply uses that in main function there is one message function is used, and this message definition, this is the message or the function calling. This is the function calling and this is the function definition. In this, whenever it is using the curly braces, means function will be called. C-A-L-L-E-D. When there is no curly braces, that is, it is the function of the, or definition of the function. That is, what are the statement that is available in this function. That is the function definition. Now, what is the output? What is the output? Larry, now it's okay? It's audible to you? Now it's audible to all of you? So this is the example. This is the example that shows how the data will be maintained, or this is the output. What is the output? This says smile and the world smiles with you. That is, this line will be printed first of all. Why this line will be printed? Because first of all there is a message function, and the definition of this is this one. So first of all this line will be printed, and then this line will be printed. Here the main itself is a function. As I told you, main is also a function, and through it we are calling to the function message. That is, in main function we are using the another function, that is a message function. What do we mean when we say that main calls the function message? That is, we are using the message function within the main function. We mean that the control passes to the function message. That is, the control pass to the next function, that is a message function. The activity of main is temporarily suspended. That is, the activity of the main function is for the time being suspended. The activity of the main is suspended, it sleeps with while the message function wakes up. That is, for the time being it will be restored, it will be sleep, and then the new function, that is a message function, wakes up and goes to the work. When the message function runs out of the statement to execute, the control returns to the main function. That is, when the message function is executed, its work is done, then the control or the cursor again returns to the main function, which comes to the life again and begins executing its codes at the exact point where it left off. So in simple terms, first of all, enter this one, enter in this code by the use of curly braces, use this one. With the usage of this one, go to the statement of this one, definition of this one, then this will give the output. Now again the control passes to the next statement, that is this one. So in function we move forward step by step. First of all, one function will be used, then another function will be used, then another function will be used, then another. When one function returns the output, returns the result, then go to the next statement, then go to the next statement, go to the next statement. The activity of the main function is temporarily suspended. It falls asleep while the message function wakes up and goes to the work. When the message function runs out of the statement to execute, the control returns to the main function, which comes to the life again and begins executing its code at the exact point where it left off. That is, the exact point where it lets off. Thus the main function becomes the calling function, and whereas the message function becomes the called function. This is the called function. Why this is known as the called function? Because the definition is given over here. That's why it is known as the called function, and main is known as the calling function. CALLING. If you have grasped the concept of calling a function, you are prepared for a call to more than one function. This is example. First of all, main will be used, that is a calling function, and these are the various called functions, that is Italy, Brazil and the Argentina. So these are the three functions that is used. One is Italy or Italy, Brazil and the Argentina. First of all, there is a line. What is the line? Printf I am in main. So this is the line that is exactly printed on the screen. What is the line that is printed? That is I am in main. Then go to the next line, that is a function call, or the function call, that is the Italy, then Brazil, then Argentina. Now this is the definition of the Italy, that is printf I am in Italy. There is a curly brace start, there is a curly brace close. Then next part is definition of the Brazil, that is I am in Brazil, then curly brace is open, curly brace is close. Then next Argentina, curly brace is open, printf I am in Argentina, curly braces close. These are the three parts, three definitions of the Italy, Brazil and the Argentina. So first of all, this will be executed. Now from here the cursor is moved to this part, that is I am in Italy. Then it will print the output as I am in Italy, then moves to the cursor to the next part, that is a Brazil. What is this? That is I am in Brazil. Then moves to the next part, that is Argentina, that is moves to the cursor this one, and then prints the value or prints the output as a I am in Argentina. What is the output? First of all, there is the first line that is printed, I am in main, then I am in Italy, I am in Brazil, I am in Argentina. These are the concept how this program will be executed, that is step by step. First of all, one step will be executed, then next step will be executed. That is some are the functions are called function and some are the definition of the called function. Like for example, Italy, Brazil, Argentina are the called function, and these and their definition will be written in the lower end or at the end of the program. That is the Italy definition, that is I am in Italy, Brazil definition, I am in Brazil, Argentina definition, that is I am in Argentina. From this program, a number of calculations can be drawn. There are multiple conclusions that will be drawn from this program. What are the conclusions? First conclusion is any C program contains at least one function. That is, any program can contain more than one function like this one, Italy, Brazil, Argentina. If a program contains only one function, it must be main function. That is, if the program contains only one function, it must be of main function. If a C program contains more than one function, then the one and the only one of these functions would be the main function. That is, if they are containing the more than one function, then the mandatory condition is that one of the function or the one of the part of the function is the main function, because the program execution always begin with the main function. As I told you in the C at the beginning, the C program always starts with the main function. So that is the main function that is used, that is the main part. Next, there is no limit on the number of functions that might be used. That is, there is no limit, there are multiple semicolon that is used, there are multiple functions that is used by using the semicolon. There are multiple called functions. Then next point, each function in a program is called in the sequence specified by the function call in the main function. That is, every function is called in the sequence. That is, first of all, I am in main, then Italy, that is a definition of the Italy, then Brazil, then Argentina. So every function in a program is called in a sequence that is specified by the function call in the main function. After each function has done its thing, control returns to the main function. When main runs out of the function call, the program ends. As we have noted earlier that the program execution always begin with the main function. So let's stop over here only because this is a lengthy topic that is available. So let's stop over here only, and then again continue with the same topic, that is this is the function, that is the Italy, Brazil and the Argentina, that is a functions topic in the next class. But stop over here only. But before winding up the class, let's take a quick review because I think we have covered so many things in the today's class. So there is some hodgepodge in the today's scenario. So let's take first of all a quick review what we have covered in the today's class, and then winding up this class. And then after winding up, if you have any doubt, then please ask the doubts from me so that concept will be clear to you. And one more thing, please do the exercises that is after the chapter. Please focus on this or focus on that because that are the most important part. If you have any doubt, then please clear to me. So please focus on the doubts. So let's take what we have covered in the today's class. In the today's class we have started with the chapter number 4, that is the case control structure. And this we have discussed about the switch case, what is the difference between the switch and the if else, and what is the goto keyword. This is the case control structure that is used. First of all, there is a switch case, then there is a switch and the difference between switch and the if else, then there is a goto keyword. So first of all, there is a switch that is used, that is a switch case that is used. This is the syntax. This is the syntax that is used for the switch case expressions, that is the switch case 1, case 2, case 3. Then we will discuss what is the default, why we are using the default, what is the advantage of using the break statement in this. This is the flowchart that represents how switch case will be used. Then these are the tips and the trap that is used about the switch statement. These are the tips that is available about the usage of the switch, and the pitfalls should also be avoided. These are the multiple rules regulations that we follow about the switch case. Then we will discuss about the difference between switch and the if else. What is the main difference? When we are using the switch and when we are using the if else. And there are multiple scenarios that the same task will be using or will be used using the if else, and the same task will be performed using the switch case. Then next what we have discussed is the goto keyword. That is the goto keyword that the programmer should be avoided because of the some reasons. What are the some reasons? Because the program becomes more complex and the gives an inaccurate result. That's why the programmer do not use the goto keyword. So it's not as advisable to use the goto keywords in the C programs. This is the example that we discussed in the last class, in this today's class. Then we have discussed about the summary exercises that is used. These are the multiple examples, these are the multiple exercises. Then we have started with the chapter number 5, that is a function. This is the most important chapter that is using. In the today's class we are just covering the theory and the one example. What is a function? and that how function is related to the same task that is done in the home or at the home. So function is a self-contained block that performs a specific task or the coherent task of some kind. Suppose I divide the main program, that is a calculation program, into 4 parts. What are the 4 parts? One is used for the addition, one is used for the subtraction, one is used for the multiplication, one is used for the division. So the main program is divided into 4 parts, that is addition, subtraction, division and multiplication. So function is a self-contained block that performs a coherent task of the same kind. Then we have discussed one example. This is one example. This is the next example that we have discussed. One is known as function calling and one is known as function definition. Then we have finished over here. These are the various rules regulation that is used. In the tomorrow's class, I am going to start with the continue the same example, continue the same topic, that is a function. So that's all for today's session. Now, if you have any doubt, then please ask from me and I will answer you. So that's all. Thank you so much, everyone. In the tomorrow's class, I am going to continue with this same topic, that is the functions. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.